Hello, welcome to the MCTC Anime Club Review. I'm Crimson Lord.
Hey guys, Shun Jump 24/7 here.
And today we'll be reviewing the anime series Rising of the Shield Hero.
Episodes 1 through 5.
Now,
So, what are your initial thoughts?
honestly, this is my first time seeing the anime, and I gotta say, I pretty much liked it.
Yeah, this is a series that I've been following for a couple of years now. I've read the manga first. It was the first series that I ever actually got a light novel for, and just couldn't wait for and they're doing a pretty good job with the anime. Pretty faithful to the light novel.
And that's technically a rare sort of thing. There are some animes that don't technically stick to the story lore from the manga or light novel, so that's a welcome change of pace.
Yep. So, story.
It seems like it started out like any other typical summoned from another world to another world anime. A few heroes are summoned, each with special powers. Although this may be one of those runt of the litter sort of things. Because of the four that are summoned, there's the sword, the spear, the bow, and of course, the shield. So, I mean, it starts out pretty good so far. They get their equipment together, they start leveling up, but then things take a dark turn. Shannon, you want to explain this part?
Yep. So, during the first day, they're thinking about maybe making a team, but they find out that they cannot make a team because for some reason it affects each of the heroes, and if they are anywhere near each other, which is kind of weird since they were kind of near the sword hero when they first started off, but anyways, they do not gain experience for when they're in the vicinity of each other. And so anyways, other than that, starts off, they go to the world, having a thing, doing stuff, and then the next day comes around, they've picked a whole bunch of adventurers. The adventurers choose who they want to be with, and of course, nobody actually shows up for the shield hero.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like some situations in gym class when they're picking teams for dodgeball, then there's the one kid nobody wants.
And then one of the characters, she volunteers to be in his party, but things don't go very well. She unfortunately has other plans, motives, and she frames him for a crime.
But of course, no one can say against her because, hell, she's the princess and nobody has any respect for the shield hero.
Yep. And then the shield hero, Naofumi, goes off onto it in his own, and it's the story of how he tries to...
If he's going to be treated like a bad guy, then he starts kind of acting like one.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, he's still the hero, but if no one's going to give him any respect, then why should he return the favor?
Yep.
And I think we're stepping into just explaining about the characters now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you want me to start, or you want to start?
Why don't we go each one by one? You want to explain about Naofumi?
Alright, so Naofumi Watani, he's the shield hero. He was from... One thing about the four heroes is that they're all from a different version of Japan. And it's not usually said what type of, he was like, he's a 20-year-old otaku. And he was just, whenever he's down on money, he usually goes to the bookstore or whatever to read light novels. And that's where he finds the light novel, or a book, at least, of a book called The Four Cardinal Heroes. I think that's what it's called. But anyways. And after that he starts reading that, that's when he's transported to another world. But a little spoilers, I guess you could say. Unlike the other three heroes, he's the only one that didn't actually die before they were summoned. And you have any thoughts about him?
Honestly, I think he would have turned out to be a great person if he was treated more kindly when he first got to this world. I mean, that's how it's usually supposed to go. Doesn't matter who you are or what weapon you use, whenever you're sent to a new world, you should be given any same respect as anybody else. But nope, everyone downs down the shield hero for whatever messed up reason.
Mm-hmm. That'll be explained in a later episode. Anyways, next is Raftalia.
Honestly, she would be the main female protagonist in this one. She's a demi-human, a raccoon girl.
Hmm?
Well, like I guess another word would be tanuki, right?
Tanuki?
Right. Unfortunately, her starting out isn't all as light as the other one. She starts out as a slave, who's then bought by Naofumi.
Mm-hmm. Because he cannot, nobody will be his party member.
So what other choice does he have?
Yep.
No one else to help him, so he figures he'll find his own help.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like the typical slave thing. He doesn't treat her like dirt. He feeds her, teaches her how to fight, even gives her proper armor and clothes and weapons.
Mm-hmm. And he only activates in total he only activates the slave crest, as it's called, like 3 times. And even as I've read further into the series, he still hasn't needed to activate it, so.
Yep. But gradually it grows to where she's more comfortable around him, and apparently she kind of has more respect for the shield hero than anyone else. Also because, according to her parents, of all the heroes, the shield hero, according to legend, was the kindest to the demi-humans.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, that's coming to pass.
Mm-hmm. And next up is, even though we didn't see very much of her, Philo.
She kind of reminds me of those chocobos from Final Fantasy.
Yep.
So far, she starts out just as a little hatchling companion because she's one of those monster eggs that hatch in a lottery sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, she grows to a size where she's able to be used as a mount.
Mm-hmm. And it only takes 2 days.
Yep. Man, did she get big after she won a race against a dragon, which was supposedly the superior lottery of the monster eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to show you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Then again, it could be depending on how you raised it. You probably just raised it as no big deal. But Naofumi actually cared for his, and it outran the dragon.
Yep. One little thing that they didn't actually show in the show is that the Moriyasu was so disappointed with the race that he actually abandons the dragon that he was using in the race.
You mean just sent it out into the wild?
No, the people of Loot actually take it in, but anyways. Next up is the weapon shop owner, Erhard.
Yeah. So far, he was nice at the beginning, but as soon as rumors spread about the supposed wrongs of the shield hero, he starts acting like a jerk, but one look in the shield hero's now from his eyes, and he could tell that something wasn't right.
Mm-hmm. And he's pretty much one of the main people that's kind to Naofumi.
No, yep. Over the course of time, as he starts to make a name for himself,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm hoping when later on in the series, after a few more episodes, that his respect starts to gradually return and people start forgetting about the rumors or start to question the validity of him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one thing's for sure, never tried to haggle with the guy, because he wasn't born yesterday.
Yep. And then the
Belowski? Belovkas? Something like that?
not entirely sure how to pronounce it.
We'll just say the slave dealer.
Yep. He's the person that he buys both Raphtalia and Philo from.
I'll be honest. He's another guy who tries to squeeze pennies out of you. He may seem like a jerk, but honestly, he's one of the more friendliest slave traders I've ever seen in animes.
True. And he's somewhat trustworthy to an extent.
Right. Even though, and it seems Naofumi can always protect when the guy's trying to wring more cash out of him.
Yep.
And he just goes along with it because he doesn't want to lose business relationships.
Mm-hmm. And on to the less desirable characters. First off is Mariyasu Kitamura, the spear hero.
Can I just say womanizer alert?
Yep.
And apparently I think he's one of the more detestable of the heroes that I've seen so far. He may put up a front, he fights monsters for the kingdom, but honestly I think he just cares about himself and their own self-interests.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing he may have some... But honestly, I think he has some qualities. I mean, even he starts to question if he's really in the right about whose side he should really be on. In the case of somewhat. Even though he smacks more smug out of the others.
Yep. But as you said, he's a
womanizer.
Just wait until you see his look when he actually meets Philo for the first time.
Right. What can we say about the other two heroes?
And then next is Ren Amiki, the sword hero.
Honestly, he kind of sounds like the loner type of person that doesn't try to know companions well.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not shy about working with other people.
When he has to.
Right.
Usually, later on in the story, you find out that he actually levels up by himself.
Right. If I have to guess for him, for his personality, I think his personality lies somewhere in the same category as characters like Sasuke or that one guy from Wolf's Rain who doesn't get along with the group that much. You know, the Grey Wolf?
Yeah, I know. Can't remember his name.
The point is, the guy who works with other people, but when things get rough, he tends to be on his own.
Yep. Then next one is Itsuki Kawasumi, the bow hero.
I don't think there's much to be said about him. I mean, it looks like he's pretty powerful. Well, I mean, when he's with the other two heroes, but honestly, I don't think we've seen that much of him, except for a few glimpses. But like Ren, it seems that at least they're the only two that understand there's something wrong with how they're treating Naofumi.
A little bit.
Although they are just as smug as the spear hero.
Yes.
But they understand when a wrong's been committed and they try to uphold honor.
Yep, and but unfortunately they still think Naofumi committed the crimes that he did.
So until proven otherwise, they're still iffish about being on his side or not.
Yep. And speaking of the crimes, let's talk about Sophia.
Bitch.
Yep. Or as she's, I'm not entirely sure if they said it in these few episodes, but she's also, her other name is Malty Mellermark.
I'm guessing, is that her name in the Japanese version, or is it from a
No,
different...
that's actually, she goes by 2 different names.
Oh, I'm guessing there's some other meaning to that other name she doesn't use in public?
It's just her name she chose.
Oh. Alright. Well, she seems nice so far, but she's like your typical princess, spoiled, and whatever she doesn't like, she tries to humiliate or get rid of.
Yep.
She's not like all the other princesses we've seen so far. She's the only one that treats people coldly. Well, at least the shield hero, mostly.
Yep.
Honestly, she's just a scheming little... And she's got the spear hero wrapped around her little finger. Mainly because I think she probably thought he'd be the easiest since he's practically a womanizer.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you, I don't think Ren and Itsuki would have been that easily swayed.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the kind of person she is. She finds the one of the bunch she can manipulate the most, and whatever one she wouldn't be able to, she gets rid of.
Mm-hmm. And last but unfortunately not least, Altcray Mellermark the 32nd, the king of Mellermark.
Yeah, it seems he gives respect to the all but one. Honestly, I don't know what he detested about the shield hero in the first place. You know, before the supposed frame-up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone who was watching it noticed that he always seemed like he would... It seemed like he treated the shield hero with the least respect even before the situation. I'm not even sure if he's that good of a king. He's probably like a stand-in for somebody else.
Stand in for the queen.
Right.
As this is the country that they're in, Mellermark, is actually a matriarchy.
Right. So the king's probably just in charge until the queen returns, and the princess, whatever she wants, he gets for her, regardless. But I guarantee you, if the queen was here when Naofumi showed up, it would be a different tune.
Mm-hmm. And that pretty much covers all the characters.
Okay.
So, art and music.
I kind of like the opening. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And the pieces of music that they had playing were during the
Kind of like your typical RPG kind of music.
Yeah.
As for the art, I gotta say I liked it, although for some reason when I looked at the top of the buildings, I couldn't help but be reminded of the buildings from Attack on Titan. Sort of.
A little bit, yeah.
Like those kinds of roofs where it's like those clay shingles that are stacked all cylindrical-like.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they look more Mediterranean, as it was mentioned in the anime.
Alright. Something negative?
Honestly, I know the whole plot was to make the shield hero look bad in the frame-up, but they could at least be a little less harsh about it. I mean, the guy is doing his best to defend the kingdom, and they badmouth him just because of the princess's word. That's just messed up.
I don't really have anything all that negative to say. All that some of the, we watched the dub, and some of the things that they changed between them were just a little, they should have kept it the same.
You mean for the voices, or?
Some of the things that they said.
Oh.
Like when Reptalia was turning around, I said that in the Japanese version, she doesn't actually say anything. She just mouths something. But in the English, they actually had something there.
Right.
It's like, why did you add that? Anyways.
Final thoughts? Honestly, this is my first time, like I said, first time watching it, and I really liked the plot and how they keep the focus on the shield hero I mean, the other guys are impressive, but it's called Rising of the Shield Hero, not the 4 heroes.
Mm-hmm. And I would say it's good. I'd recommend it to anybody wanting to watch an isekai anime, Otherworld, and yeah.
Alright, so for my scoring, I'll give it 5 out of 5.
And I'll also give it 5 out of 5.
Okay, thanks for joining us in this week's review. Join us next time. Until then, and this is the MCTC Anime Club signing off.